Adding a sensor to the Crankk network implies programming the sensor to broadcast its data over the Crankk LoRawan network. Onboard sensors will appear in your user dashboard. This allows for easy monitoring of its produced data from anywhere in the world. A sensor can only be added to one LoRa network at a time. If your sensor was previously set up to operate on another LoRa network, please disconnect it from this network first before switching to Crankk. Depending on the brand or model of the sensor you wish to add to Crankk, the process might be different. However, the process should always involve activating and configuring your sensor in the Sensors Maker app, obtaining your sensor's device EUI and app EUI, adding your sensor to your Crankk user dashboard. We will be using the SenseCap T1000 as an example sensor for this video. The SenseCap T1000 measures location, GNSS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, light and temperature. The goal is to have this sensor upload its data over the Crankk network, enabling us to consult it in our user dashboard. Download and install the SenseCraft app to a smartphone. This is the Maker app that comes with the SenseCap T1000. Open the app. No devices, sensors, have been connected to your app yet, so click Add Device to connect your sensor to the app. Allow for the camera to scan the QR code on the back of the sensor or manually input the device ID. Your sensor has now been bound to the app. Click Configure to go to the Bluetooth configuration. Hold the button down for a few seconds until it flashes. Then select the Device is Ready button. You should see your device in the menu. Select it. You will be presented with two options. Choose the Advanced Configuration. You may be asked to update the firmware. Select Go to Upgrade. It will take you back to the Bluetooth configuration screen. Push and hold the sensor button again to reconnect and select your device. You will be presented with a new device firmware upgrade button. Click this button and download the new firmware and let it configure. Once the firmware is updated, you will be back on the home screen, but your device is not configured. Click the device and then click the cog in the top to go to Settings. Choose Device Bluetooth Configuration and you will be back in the main config wizard. Again, connect your sensor by holding the button down and selecting it from the list. Choose Advanced Configuration. Click the Settings tab. In the LoRa tab of the sensor settings, select Platform, Other Platform, since Crankk is not yet listed. Frequency plan. We select EU868 because our sensor will be operating in Europe. You should select your LoRa frequency. EU868 for Europe, US 915 for USA, AU 915 for Australia. Activation type, OTAA. Notice your device EUI and your app key. Copy them somewhere. Remember where to find these unique identification strings for your sensor. They are needed to onboard your sensor to your user dashboard later. Go to the Work Mode tab and set Heartbeat. Choose the interval for your sensor to send heartbeat to your user dashboard. We choose to send a heartbeat every 60 minutes. Enable Temp and Light Sensor. Toggle this on to activate temperature and light measurements. Work Mode. Set to Periodic Mode. Your sensor will broadcast its measurements at a set interval to your user dashboard. Uplink Interval. Set the interval for your sensor measurements to be broadcast. Go to the Geolocation tab and set Geolocation Strategy. GNSS only, Global Navigation Satellite System. Crankk User Dashboard currently only supports geolocation over GNSS. GNSS max scan time, 60 seconds. We want the sensor to scan for satellites for a maximum period of 60 seconds per interval. Toggle LoRawan roaming switch off. Toggle location data cache on. This will save location measurements on the device and allows for movement tracking. Click Send to write the settings to your device. Congratulations, you have successfully set up and configured your sensor. Now let's import the sensor to your Crankk user dashboard. Navigate to your personal user dashboard and select the Sensors tab in the left-hand menu. Click the plus Add Sensor button. Provide all necessary information. Then copy-paste the device EUI and app key from your Sensors Maker app. That's the details you copied and saved somewhere safe before in the tutorial. Click Add to finalize the process. A green message box pops up saying the sensor was created successfully, indicating a successful onboarding process. Click your sensor's name to open up its overview page. The sensor page in your user dashboard provides an overview of all data gathered and broadcast by your sensor that has been picked up by Crankk gateways. Click Reports to have the option to export the data. Congratulations, Crankster! You have successfully onboarded a sensor to the Crankk LoRawan network. Happy cranking!